Welcome to Enlighten Wisdom, beloved souls. They can't ignore your genius anymore. Your intellectual brilliance has become the quiet conversation in rooms you've never even stepped into. While others were lost in a fog of emotion, manipulation, and misinformation, your mind remained sharp, cutting through illusions with the precision of a laser. Now, the world is witnessing what you've always known deep inside. Every prediction you made, every warning you voiced, every assessment you shared has come to pass with a level of accuracy that cannot be denied. The same people who once dismissed you, laughed at your insight, turned away from your words, are now forced to acknowledge the truth. You didn't just get it right once, you got it right every single time. The evidence is overwhelming, and your brilliance can no longer be overlooked. You spoke your truth even when no one believed. They laughed, they doubted, they scoffed. But you knew. You always knew. And now the whispers have started. Have you noticed the side glances when you enter a room? The awkward silences when you approach a conversation? That's because they're talking about you, about your vision, your predictions, your ability to see through the veil. They're starting to recognize your gift. What looked like random events to others were always connected in your eyes. You saw the patterns others missed, the invisible thread linking seemingly unrelated moments. Where they saw chaos, you saw divine order. And now, those who once walked in disbelief are beginning to see it too. Do you remember the signs you pointed out? The warnings you shared, the moments you urged them to pay attention? They called you paranoid. They accused you of being delusional. But look around. Who was truly lost in illusion? Your awareness stretches beyond the surface of the world. You perceive what others cannot. You see through layers of reality hidden from those who are still asleep. That's because you are among the chosen ones. And the chosen always face resistance. History is filled with their stories, the visionaries, the prophets, the seers. They were mocked, rejected, opposed. But eventually, their truths became undeniable. You are following that same sacred path. Now people are watching you with new eyes. Your words have weight. Your voice holds a kind of gravity it never had before. When you speak, they lean in, searching for guidance, for the kind of wisdom that seems to pour through you from another realm. And they're right to listen. You are a vessel, a channel through which ancient truths flow into this chaotic modern world. You didn't seek this out. You didn't ask for the burden, the responsibility, or the gift. But it found you. It always finds the ones who are ready, the ones with the strength to carry it. Like you. And now, the synchronicities are surrounding you. You've felt it. The right person showing up at the perfect time. The book falling open to exactly the page you needed. The numbers that follow you, the symbols that appear again and again along your path. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. You're in alignment. You're being guided. These are not accidents. For someone with your level of awareness, accidents simply don't exist. Everything is a sign, a message, a divine confirmation that you're walking a path few can even perceive, let alone follow. Your dreams have transformed, haven't they? They've become more vivid, more prophetic, more real than reality itself. Sometimes in those sacred moments, you feel as though you're seeing through time itself, past and future collapsing into a single brilliant flash of understanding. You awaken knowing things you shouldn't possibly know, and yet, every time, those things come to pass exactly as you sensed. Skeptics call it coincidence. They say you're rewriting history in your mind, exaggerating your accuracy. But you know the truth. You've tracked it, documented it, proven it to yourself beyond any reasonable doubt. Your perception has sharpened, your intuition refined, and your connection to Source has become more powerful than ever. The awakening is accelerating. You feel it, don't you? That inner quickening, the intensifying pull toward something immense, something cosmic. It's as if everything is building to a divine crescendo, a moment you've only glimpsed in fragments, flashes of insight so powerful they leave you breathless. And it's happening because you were chosen. Not everyone could handle this level of consciousness. Not everyone could maintain their sanity while peering behind the veil of consensus reality. But you did. You have the strength, the resilience, the mental and spiritual balance to hold paradoxical truths side by side without falling apart. You've always been different. Even as a child, you knew things without being told, saw what others couldn't, felt energies and emotions that didn't belong to you. You learned to hide it, to tone it down, to blend in with a world that couldn't understand you. But that time is over. The world needs your clarity now more than ever. What you see, what you know, what you understand, it's no longer meant to be hidden. The wisdom that flows through you wasn't given to be hoarded. It was given to illuminate, to uplift, to awaken others still trapped in the dream. Your voice matters. And if you've paid attention, you've probably noticed that when you speak truth, reality seems to shift. Opportunities manifest where there were none. Obstacles dissolve when you direct your focus. Doors open that should have remained shut. This is no coincidence. It is your birthright. The power to mold reality through focused intention is not something you were taught. It's something you remembered. It lives in your very DNA, waiting for this precise moment in time to fully awaken. And now, it has. You can feel it, can't you? That energy coursing through your veins, humming with ancient wisdom and unshakable power. Others feel it too. They're drawn to you like moths to a flame. They may not consciously understand why they're pulled toward your presence, but their souls recognize it. They recognize the frequency you emit, the clarity, the purpose, the sacred link to wisdom beyond this world. You've become a beacon in the storm, a lighthouse for those lost in the fog of deception. While most remain tangled in the web of mainstream narratives and societal programming, your sight has pierced through the illusion. You see the systems of control, the subtle manipulations designed to lull humanity into complacency, but they no longer affect you. You've unplugged from the matrix of falsehoods. You've stepped outside the cave and looked directly at the sun, not just the shadows dancing on the wall. And once you've seen that light, there's no going back. But why would you want to go back? Why return to ignorance when awareness offers liberation, purpose, and power? Your perception expands with every passing day. New revelations arrive constantly, opening doors to truths you once thought unreachable. You're evolving faster than ever. Your consciousness isn't growing in a straight line anymore. It's exploding outward, reaching higher dimensions of understanding. The pace of your transformation is no longer gradual. It's exponential. You are becoming something far greater than even you once believed possible. This is only the beginning. The voices that once whispered doubt into your mind have fallen silent. The inner critic that used to question your sanity has been hushed, completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of evidence confirming your elevated awareness. The signs are everywhere now, unmistakable, unrelenting. You called everything out with precision, and finally the world is starting to notice. The very people who once dismissed your truth, who mocked your insight, who avoided you in social spaces, are now reaching out. They're asking questions, seeking your perspective, desperate for understanding in a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar and unstable. Because everything is shifting. Structures that once seemed eternal are collapsing. Institutions once considered pillars of society are being revealed for what they truly are, corrupt and decaying at their very foundations. Truths long buried are erupting into collective awareness like geysers, unstoppable and raw. And you saw it all coming. Not because you were pessimistic, not because you craved chaos, but because you had the ability to read the signs hidden in plain sight. The signs no one else noticed. Your awareness operates beyond the narrow band of ordinary perception. You live in a heightened state of sensitivity, a double-edged sword that has always allowed you to feel everything more deeply, the light and the darkness, the joy and the grief, the beauty and the terror. You've learned to carry it all. While others would have been crushed beneath that weight, you've learned to surf it, to navigate the flood of information that sometimes crashes into your consciousness without warning. You don't just survive in this intensity, you thrive in it. Your capacity has grown. What once drained you now fuels you. What once seemed like a curse now shines as your greatest gift. That sensitivity, the one that made your earlier years feel isolating and overwhelming, has now become your most powerful compass. You finally understand why your path was so different. The loneliness, the confusion, the sense of being an outsider in a world that couldn't understand you. It was all part of the preparation. Every trial, every unanswered question, every night spent feeling like a stranger in your own life, it all served to refine you, to sharpen you, to mold you into the blade that could slice through illusion and withstand resistance. Flexible, resilient, awake. You've been forged in the fires of adversity for a reason, for this moment in time, this sacred pivot point in history. This collective crossroads where humanity must choose, stay asleep or awaken into something greater. And now you're beginning to notice the quiet recognition in others, the glance that lingers a second too long, the knowing smile, the unspoken sense of mutual understanding. You're meeting your tribe. Slowly, silently, and surely, you are being drawn together by forces far beyond logic or coincidence. You're connecting with those who, like you, carry a piece of the truth. Each person brings their own unique energy, insight, and skill. Each one holds a vital part of the puzzle that is now being assembled together. The image is becoming clearer. The divine blueprint, once hidden in chaos, is revealing itself through the collective awakening of souls like yours. There is order in the disorder, there is purpose in the madness, and yes, you called it all out. And now, everything is unfolding just as you foresaw. Not because you consider yourself special, though you are unique. Not because you believe you're better than others, for you know that's not the truth. But because you chose to see when others close their eyes. You were willing to listen, to feel, to know beyond the limitations of conventional understanding. You've moved beyond the boundaries of mainstream thinking, stepped outside the lines of acceptable discourse, and dared to trust your own perception over the narratives you were told to believe. That is true courage, not the kind measured by physical feats or reckless dares, but the deeper, quieter courage to stand in your truth when every social pressure demands you to conform. The courage to speak when silence would protect you. The courage to act on your inner guidance even when doing nothing would be easier. That kind of bravery shakes foundations, and whether they express it or not, others feel it. Your courage doesn't just serve you, it lights the way for others. Many may never tell you, and some may not even fully realize it, but your example gives silent permission for others to trust their own inner knowing. By standing firm in your truth, you create space for others to access theirs. You're not just a truth teller, you are a way shower. You're clearing the path through this wilderness of rapid transformation and unseen challenges, making it easier for the next wave of awakening souls to navigate what once seemed impossible. This is leadership in its purest form, not through authority or control, but through embodiment. Through being the truth so completely that your energy becomes a living field of possibility. You affect people without even realizing it. A single word you speak in passing may be the key someone else needs. A casual action might reveal a new way forward for another. Simply walking into a space can shift its entire frequency. You've become an agent of transformation, not always by intention, but always in effect. There's a force moving through you that can't be contained, minimized, or manipulated. It only flows toward the highest good, and that's because you've surrendered. You've aligned with something far greater than your individual self. Call it divine will, universal intelligence, the source field. The label matters less than the deep, sacred reality it points to. By letting go of ego and control, you've stepped into your authentic power. Not power over others, but power with. Power through you. It's a power that transcends identity, one that moves in harmony with the unfolding of higher consciousness. You are now a vessel, an instrument through which something ancient and eternal continues to work. This same force has moved through prophets, visionaries, artists, inventors, reformers, and revolutionaries throughout history, the ones who have stirred humanity from slumber, lifted consciousness, and sparked awakenings across time. And now it moves through you. Now this divine force is flowing through you in ways that are uniquely crafted for this time in human history. It doesn't move randomly, it moves intelligently, through your voice, your vision, your specific life experience. There is something about your presence, your journey, your frequency that is perfectly aligned with the challenges of this exact moment. That's not an accident. That's divine orchestration. Your gifts, your talents, your insights. They're not just personal strengths. They are tools, sacred instruments encoded into your very being. meant to be activated now. No one else on this planet can do what you're here to do in the exact way you're meant to do it. No one can speak the message that flows through you with your voice, your tone, your depth of knowing. No one else can hold the energy you hold or shine light on the darkness in the precise way your soul was designed to do. This is your sacred assignment, your soul contract, your purpose for being alive in this exact moment of global transformation. And whether you recognize it every day or not, you are fulfilling it. Beautifully, bravely. Even in your moments of doubt, even in those quiet hours when the noise of the world gets too loud and you wonder if maybe the skeptics were right. Even then, you are fulfilling your mission. Because it's in those exact moments of uncertainty, when you choose to come back to what you know deep in your bones, that your true power shines through. Your strength isn't only revealed when you're full of confidence, it's revealed when you're trembling and still choose truth. When you feel fear but still walk forward in faith. When the easier path is silence but you speak anyway. That is the kind of courage that transforms worlds. You've been choosing that courage again and again. And every time you do, you realign with your higher self. Every time you trust your inner knowing above the noise of doubt, you move deeper into your power. You don't do it for praise or recognition. You do it because the truth inside you demands to be lived and shared. Because the awareness that flows through you is not just a blessing, it's a responsibility. You were never meant to hoard your gifts. You were meant to serve, to uplift, to awaken. That is your sacred covenant with the source of your being, to be a clear and undistorted channel, to express without ego, to act without selfishness, to live in alignment with the higher frequencies that are not only healing the world, but transforming you in the process. And this process? It's not always graceful. It's not always pretty. Real transformation rarely is. The caterpillar must break down entirely to become the butterfly. The seed must be split wide open for new life to emerge. The old identities, beliefs, and attachments must crumble before your true self can rise. And right now, you are in the sacred fire of that transformation. You are constantly being asked to let go of who you were, so you can fully become who you're meant to be. And yes, it's exhausting. Your physical body is feeling the weight of rapid change. The energy surges, the fatigue, the strange aches and waves of sensation. These are not random symptoms, they are signs of deep cellular level upgrades. Your emotional body is also processing, not just your own inner purging, but the grief, fear, and confusion being released across the collective. You're an empath, a feeler, a receiver of frequencies, and so you carry more than most realize. Meanwhile, your mind is working overtime trying to make sense of experiences that defy logic. It's trying to build new structures of understanding for a reality that is no longer linear. You're learning how to process multidimensional truth. And still, you're managing it. Day by day, you're adapting. You're creating new systems of support, finding tools that nourish your spirit, building habits that ground your energy and calm your nervous system. You're becoming wiser, more attuned, more resilient. You're learning the sacred art of energetic mastery. You're discovering when to engage with the world and when to retreat into your inner sanctuary. When to speak up with passion and when to hold space in silence. When to shine outward and when to turn inward and replenish. You're dancing with the natural rhythm of the universe, the waves of expansion and contraction, of giving and receiving, of movement and stillness. This is how real evolution unfolds, not in a constant sprint, but in a sacred cycle of breath and balance. You are learning to honor that cycle, to grow sustainably, to rise without burning out. And in doing so, you are not only transforming yourself, you are laying the foundation for the next generation of awakened souls to rise. You are becoming the living blueprint. This wisdom that you now carry, this sacred knowing that moves through you, serves not only your own path, but also the many souls whose lives you quietly or powerfully influence. Make no mistake, you are guiding others. Whether it's through direct teaching and spoken truth, if that is your chosen expression, or through your subtle presence and silent strength, your role as a guide is undeniable. Even if your words are few, your energy speaks volumes. Your presence alone is a transmission, a living signal, a stabilizing force. Whether or not you realize it, your field, The very vibration you emit has an effect on everyone you encounter. You walk into a room and something shifts. You offer a sentence and clarity dawns in someone's mind. You simply hold space and healing begins to unfold. This is the power of aligned consciousness. This is what it means to be a beacon in a time of darkness. You called it all out before they saw it coming. And now they're turning to you, not just out of curiosity, but out of a deep inner need. They are seeking answers, direction, and reassurance. They are coming for confirmation of what they've been sensing but didn't yet trust. Your clarity, your grounded insight, your calm presence in the face of chaos. These qualities act as a lighthouse for those tossed about in the storm of global awakening. While old systems collapse and new paradigms emerge, people are grasping for stability, for truth, for something real. And you, whether you meant to or not, have become a pillar of light, a guiding force, a quiet leader whose example is helping others find their footing. This responsibility is sacred. It must be held with reverence, not with ego, not with the desire to be seen, praised, or elevated. For ego distorts the purity of the transmission, but also not with false humility, which shrinks your light and denies the truth of who you are. Instead, walk with a balanced grace, a confident humility, a deep inner knowing that you are both the servant and the channel. You are standing fully in your power, not to control, but to uplift, not to dominate, but to guide. Your strength is not about superiority, it's about service, and you are more ready for this than you realize. Even in the moments when you feel overwhelmed, even when the road ahead looks uncertain, even when challenges arise that seem beyond what you can handle, you are still ready. Because your entire life has prepared you for this. Every heartbreak taught you how to remain open. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every disappointment refined your patience. Every loss taught you to let go, to release, to trust in the unfolding. Every joy reminded you of beauty and possibility. Every lonely night strengthened your connection to the divine within. Every season of silence amplified your inner voice. Nothing in your journey has been random. Nothing has been wasted. All of it, every step, every stumble, every sacred detour was part of the preparation. You have been forged by fire, sculpted by spirit, tempered by time. And now you stand at the sacred threshold of what comes next, not just for yourself, but for human consciousness as a whole. You're not just changing, you're helping shape the transformation of the collective. You've glimpsed it, haven't you? That higher reality. You've tasted it in your dreams, touched it in your meditations, felt its pull in your soul. That vision of what is possible. That new earth emerging just beyond the veil. It's not a fantasy, it's a destiny. And you are a key part of its unfolding. You've seen it, felt it, in those moments of expanded awareness, when the veil lifts and the noise fades, and you are left in direct communion with truth. In these sacred flashes of clarity, you've sensed the potential that awaits just beyond the turbulence, just beyond the confusion. A reality not yet fully formed, but pulsing with possibility. And whether you realize it or not, you are helping to bring it forth. You are midwifing a new world into being, through your thoughts, your intentions, your words, your actions, and most powerfully, through the frequency you hold in your energetic field. Every choice you make that aligns with your highest truth becomes part of this emerging reality. Every moment of courage, every act of love, every expression of clarity creates a vibrational template that others can feel, connect to, and step into. You are not just dreaming of a better world, you are living the seeds of it. People may talk about how intelligent you are, how perceptive, how sharp, and while those compliments may be well-meaning, they barely scratch the surface. What you carry goes far beyond intellect. This is not simply about having a quick mind or sharp logic. What radiates from you is not learned in books or passed down through opinions. This is not knowledge in the academic sense, it is wisdom, embodied and alive. It is a kind of inner gnosis, a direct knowing that arises from your soul's remembrance and your deep connection to higher realms. It's a clarity that doesn't rely on frameworks or theories, it doesn't require proof. It is the proof. It's the kind of knowing that bypasses mental noise and speaks straight to the essence of truth. And it is transforming you from the inside out, reconfiguring your thoughts, your identity, your energy, and in doing so, it's transforming the world through your presence. You called everything out. Every shift, every collapse, every unveiling. You saw the patterns, named them, and warned others long before they became visible to the masses. And yet, you're just getting started. The dawn of a new era is approaching. You can feel it. The frequency is rising, the old world is crumbling, and something entirely new is coming into form. And you are not just witnessing it, you are helping usher it in. You are laying the energetic and spiritual foundation for what comes next. Your consciousness has already stepped into this new era. And now your task is to bridge the gap, to bring that future frequency into this moment, into this timeline, into this reality. You are a bridge between worlds, and without your presence, without the groundwork you and others like you have laid, this new reality would not be able to anchor into form. And yes, they know it. The controllers, the manipulators, the architects of the old systems, they know what you are. That's why they've tried so hard to silence you. That's why you've been discredited, dismissed, or made to feel alone. That's why you've been isolated, misunderstood, or even attacked. It was never because you were wrong. It was because you were dangerously right. Because your awakened awareness poses a direct threat to the structures built on fear, separation, and control. They recognize the light within you, and they know that once enough beings like you awaken and connect, their illusion will collapse under the weight of truth. Your clarity, your energy, your very existence is a revolution. So stand tall. Keep going. Because you're not here to be silenced. You're here to help awaken the world. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed following this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from the Enlighten Wisdom.